What's going on, everybody? Julian here doing a market recap. And interesting day. Started off with the low floats, and the only real stock that I was looking at, and there were a few that did actually work out well. I didn't stick around for a lot. There were a few stocks that were there working today. What I was picking wasn't the best. I hit a stop loss on this one, and I took a walk on the day. It just wasn't what I needed to see here. I was trading TH. I was waiting for a secondary setup after my first loss. So my first loss is going to come on the initial pullback. You know, the risk on this one was completely hedged. So, I mean, I can take a trade like this and not be bothered by this or affected in any way, shape, or form because it follows everything that I need to see, right? So this thing actually just, it moves really well out of the gate. It puts in that move. It pulls back. We get this little short-term floor just like so. And it starts to consolidate. And so these are the things that I'm looking for, is I'm looking for a very, very light, low volume pullback. Although the volume was pretty decent on this one push, I am looking for a nice shallow pullback. And then I'm looking for a little bit of consolidation. And then what I'm looking for after that consolidation, which is what I refer to as a bit of a turn, because that long momentum turns into a little short-term selling, which is probably profit taking, and then you're creating this consolidation, which in more cases than not is the actual turn long to get back on trend. And that little turn right through there is where I traded into this thing. This thing broke out. I thought this thing was going to go. This is what I trade more often than not. And I had my first targets up at 375 set. So the idea here in the game plan was get long when that turn committed itself. I got in on the breakout. It moved up. It started to step higher. I surfed out the first pullback, and then when it printed and it gave me this 3-bar reversal candlestick pattern here, this is actually what I thought. I thought to myself, okay, well, this is done. If this floor gets taken out, I'm out of the trade. It is what it is, and that's exactly what happened. I did stick around and watch this one, not to revenge trade, but what I wanted to see was I wanted to see the same setup. And that same setup was offered back through here. And I was looking at this and I said, okay, well, we've got a nice big run up. We've got a pullback. We've got a floor. We've gotten back on the north side of VWAP. We've come back down. We've gotten back on VWAP. There's a potential squeeze right through here. We are seeing these lows get higher and higher and higher. And so essentially we've got this really nice ascending triangle. And if you were to use just a measured move on this trade at the breakout, you can actually see that this thing, had it broken out, was forecasted to move into the extremely low fours. The MACD was there, but you know what? It just sort of moves sideways, and that denotes weakness to me. If we don't get a nice big move right away, especially when we come to the apex of a pattern and that squeeze is there and the volume peters out, like, it's done. And so with TH, because that thing didn't break, because no volume stepped in, because nothing was being tested in terms of previous pivot peaks and trendline resistance popping to the north side, I just couldn't get long this thing again. So all in all, TH, I took one loss on it, completely calculated. I'm fine with that. On the other side of things, and I'm going to stick to the longs, I did talk about pre-market in chat, a few larger cap stocks. Roku was one of them. Roku was up substantially pre-market. And this thing did have a nice move right through here. Now you'll see that we have this trend line resistance that was breached today. And I did put this in chat, and I said you got to watch for this level. If this level breaks out, we could see a nice move higher. Now we do have some previous levels of resistance and a breakout level right through here, which is interesting. We've got some now approximate support and approximate resistance right at that same level again. And today we bullishly have broken out of trendline resistance. We're above that 9-day exponential moving average. We've got a nice volume push, and the momentum is resetting. I got long this. I bought 1 month calls. I'm in the money on these ones. And at the moment, I think I bought them at about $21 a call. They're now trading at about 23 and a quarter, I believe, as of the close. And so this is a primary example of a fantastic swing trade. I'm going to be going over later on tonight in our live webinar how I actually positioned into this one, but I wanted to give you an idea of the setup and how this thing is forecasted to play out. The other one was Twitter, and I typically don't like Twitter. I did not trade Twitter today, but this setup was the same. And you can see that we've got that beautiful lead-in bullish trend. I mean, it puts in highs, light pullback, breaks out. Puts in a high, light pullback, breaks out. Puts in a high, light pullback, breaks out. And it's putting in another low. We're probably, we're above this key level for sure, right through here at 56.5. And this thing has found a bottom right through here. It's pushed higher. We cracked trendline resistance. Again, I put this one in chat, and I alerted everybody to the fact that this is a potential swing trade. Levels of resistance that I'll be looking at are going to start off with zone resistance, and that's going to be anywhere between 75.10 over 72. Getting into that range, and if it turns over in that area, these are both great areas to get out of the trade. If this thing can make it up into the $81 level, that's beautiful. And if it pushes past that, which I suspect it might be able to, this could really turn into a beautiful trade. Now, the only caveat to that is that I'm just playing the technicals here. I did absolutely zero research on anything fundamental. I don't know when they're reporting. If you were to get into something like this, or if you were to look at these types of setups in terms of a swing trade, anything past a few days, you are going to want to take that added level of due diligence and go in and see when they're reporting. If they're reporting in 3 weeks from now, and the stock is setting up beautifully on the technical side, and there's a situation where it could step up a little bit, and you want to have a 3 and 4 day play with some options, awesome. What I wouldn't suggest is trading in front of it, swing trading in front of earnings, because earnings is a crapshoot. You never know. I mean, you've got these fantastic, beautiful setups that fail on the other side of earnings. If the news is correlated or not, it's sometimes a crapshoot, and so I just wouldn't trade in front of earnings. I would wait for earnings to print, and then on the other side, I would look to see how the market is reacting to it. And when I talk about market, I'm talking about the big institutional money. If Twitter reported really well, for example, and institutional money started to bid this thing up and they really wanted their pound of flesh for the next couple quarters, then there's a great long swing trade. There's going to be a lot of volume that hits the tape. You can ride the coattails of larger money. Beautiful play. As a retail trader, don't kid yourself. You make no splash in the market. Your money is great money, and it's a tool to grow your net worth. But here's the thing. When it comes to trading, what you want to do is have a general fundamental understanding of what's going on, technical understanding of what's going on, and then really try and understand what big money looks like when they're pouring into these names. And when big money comes into a name, that's where you want to apply your pattern recognition tools to get into the stock as well and ride smart money's coattail. I got off on a bit of a tangent there. TH and Roku were the two plays. I've got a whole list of shorts that I'm not going to be talking about publicly that are also in play that are flat to slightly in profit. And Twitter, again, just another call that I put out in chat. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Julian at jlewistrading.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Turn your notifications on. Become part of the community. Join the J. Lewis Trading Facebook group where I post a lot of this stuff, a lot of video lessons, so on and so forth. I'm going to leave a link in the description box below for you guys.